is what we see in Nigeria League. And where my point goes is after the game, the retirement.
Yeah.
That's fine, because we see all those past footballers in Nigeria after their retirement, nothing to say about some of them are late. So I think the new generation now, I don't know that with their retirement, they have something. So they would start doing investment, some into real estate, some doing, I think some clubs, having academy. So I think that is for good for any footballer, at least to see things in order so that when you retire, you have something to start life again. Yeah, that is it. So have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you very much. Yes, very important to to think of the future, live in the present, but also think of the future. Plan for it too, and for footballers is no exception. I like the fact that Kelly Kester mentioned that it is sweet when the bonus they come month end, but then all of a sudden, before you know, the career will not be too long now, don't come to an end, and then you now have to start living normal life like a normal human being. You know that you are not normal, when you were collecting the plenty money. Okay, all right, so fan, a good one, really. And yes, I told you about the talking point, but before I give you the first talking point, let's take a look at the matter we did for ground right there now, and we hear that like I mentioned earlier in terms of transfers, Arsenal are really interested in landing Thomas Partey, but how the money won't take on together now to join, they say they must sell to buy. That is the situation of things. Meanwhile, Hansi Flick, yes, don't talk now, say there is Alcantara, yes, he's willing to try a new league. That is according to the gist where we say they for town right there now. For Alcantara right there might be leaving for a new league. He wants to try something new. Will it be the Premier League? Will it be the Serie A? Yes, but he wants to try a new league, and this is something that Thiago Alcantara don't put for ground after playing for quite a while right there. We hear that a certain Liverpool are willing to drop £32 million. The link not too strong, the Marie rope not tight, but last there's a link between Liverpool and a certain Thiago Alcantara. Yes, a 29-year-old Bayern player. Can it work? Well, we also know that Bayern are also looking for Osusu after they cough to pay for Leroy Sané. Now they definitely need to make some sellings. Still on the transfer market, maybe tell you say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer don't get advice from one and only Paul Scholes. He say the way the team they go, so the team we don't see so far for Manchester United, Paul Scholes they advise Man U, particularly the coach Ole Gunnar, say make they find somebody. They need to find wife, give Harry Maguire. Well, when I say wife, not for house, on the pitch. Anyway, somebody that will partner him, and they will be able to play better on the field of play. He said because the kind Maguire no get pace, and so in other words, maybe you go find a defensive partner for Harry Maguire to help and assist him for inside that defense. So that now waiting Paul Scholes don't bring the matter down to says Harry Maguire need a partner in the defense, a solid partner like a Rio Ferdinand. You don't want to see Anna? Yes, maybe they do. But last now Paul Scholes said this is the team that will help. Well, of course, in the game against, despite beating Bournemouth 5-2, there were some loopholes here and there, and if at all, Paul Scholes is advising Manchester United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to make one or two signing. Meanwhile, for the game, N'Golo Kante, yes, it might not be available. Yes, after he picked up hamstring injury for that their win yesterday, so it might not be available for next tomorrow game against Crystal Palace. On Tuesday they play Crystal Palace, and for N'Golo Kante might not be available. This is waiting Frank Lampard don't drop for table. Looking at some of the knocks where we say they get during the matter right here. All right, yes. Meanwhile, Marcus Rashford has joined the Jay-Z's famous Rock Nation agency, and this now something where be say the guy joining, taking the pictures, posing on this one, and if at all, yes, we hear that even his the things where be say Marcus Rashford don't do for inside outside football for the past couple of weeks has pulled him forward, but it will not be the first. It's setting somewhere. So when you take a look at some of the players that will be sitting under the Rock Nation, we also have a couple of Nigerians who are still under that agency as well. All right, sport fans, still the frequency of champions, Sports Radio 88.9 Brila FM. Yes, our first talking point right here, or make it the talking point we want to stay on top right now. We've had some earlier in the course of the show, the first half of the show. Well, we'll be taking a look at Barcelona. Yes, they're in business later today, but I want us to talk about Barcelona, yes, with Antoine Griezmann. Antoine Griezmann, for the last game when we say in follow Barcelona play, was against Atletico Madrid. Whether not 2 minutes or 1 minute, he played in that game, and so far after that game, the brother of Antoine Griezmann, the father, even former coach, the village people of Antoine Griezmann has been vocal. They have been just expressing their anger. Yes, though the brother of Antoine Griezmann deleted some of the tweets, but he actually posted a picture of himself and Antoine Griezmann with the World Cup trophy. I mean, 2018 was just 2 years ago. This is a World Cup champion, and somehow, yes, the talks has been Kike Setien is the one. The father, of course, had his own tweet up, or a conversation he had, where he also feels that now the style, Kike Setien is the one that is causing issues right there with Barcelona. Of course, remember Barcelona and how they played that game against Atletico de Madrid. But then, of course, when you take a look at that, in that game, playing just 2 minutes, how the game to end. But questions that were asked, question that were answered right now is the fact that the coach, Barcelona coach, says Griezmann, there's nothing wrong with him, he's okay. It's just that in the game, he just had to play who he had to play. And for Suarez, Messi, these were guys that were doing the job, and he felt there was no need to bring Antoine Griezmann in to spoil it. So about the time he gave to Griezmann, he says it would have made more sense for him to play him early, and like there was no point for him to come into that game at that point in time when the game done already. The draw, it was already 2-2. Game done, they finish already. There was really no need for him to bring in Griezmann, but he still did bring in Griezmann right there into the game on the 90th minute for inside that game. And the coach says no reason really to explain why he bring in Griezmann at that time, but except for the fact we say Messi and Suarez were playing very, very well in the game, so definitely did not want to, shake things up. Even Seti and Sufati entered game before Griezmann, who Barcelona splashed £108 million for from Atletico Madrid. Even when they asked Diego Simeone, the guy just smiled. You know what talk? What do you answer for? What do you want talk? But the question right now is, look at Antoine Griezmann, a player who has, so far, he has scored 8 goals from 28 starts this season. Since they restart the La Liga, he has started only once for Barcelona in their last 4 games. Only once now he don't start. The other times, now small, and the worst start so far was against Atletico Madrid, playing just 2 minutes in the game. Should Griezmann consider leaving Barcelona? Do you think that Kike Setien, many people criticized him after that game, how he used Griezmann? Should he be criticized for bringing him into the game at that time? Do you think Kike Setien is supposed to collect the last shot right there? Does he really deserve to be criticized for bringing in Griezmann at that time in the game? Is there something he did wrong? Should he have done better, brought him in earlier? Was that something you think the coach should have done? Because let me tell you right there that while this is happening, the former coach of Antoine Griezmann, talking about Martin Lasete, who was with Real Sociedad, has also come out to say that truly, yes, Kike Setien could have done better. Yes, could have done better help Griezmann. He says that game against Atletico was a game that just finished Griezmann. When you talk about psychologically, yes, that the confidence of Griezmann is zero right now, and Kike Setien is not doing anything to help. Instead, he just they keep the boy the goal the more. That is what the former coach of Antoine Griezmann had to say after the game against Atletico Madrid. And I'm asking you this morning, get on board and let us hear from you. Do you think Griezmann, is there a way back for Griezmann when you take a look at his time so far with Barcelona? The Messi, Griezmann, the partnership, no days, not even blending. While we're training to start the La Liga again, Suarez and Messi, don't know if it was coincidence or it just happened. Suarez and Messi, they had to train in group, and there's a particular number that could train at a time before they started doing full contact training. During that time, it was only Messi and Suarez. They always found themselves in the same group, and I don't think that is coincidence. I mean, if you want your players, you want the partnership between a player and another to blend, to cook well, then they should train together, play together, hang out together if they must. But Antoine Griezmann was always in another group. Messi and Suarez had their own, they found themselves in the same training group, and that was before the start of the La Liga. Many things they click when you look at Messi and Griezmann and how things really should flow. Do you think Griezmann is moving farther away from being accepted at Barcelona? Yes, this is now waiting with a look right here on the Sunday Sports Show. You can hit us up live on Facebook, Sport Radio Brilla FM, on Twitter at Brilla FM 889. Let's get to the phone line. Say hello, welcome. Yes, sir. Morning.
Yeah. To me,
what's your name?
I don't think my name is.
Your name is?
Joseph. Yeah. I don't think any player is above to be on the bench, depending on the game plan of the coach. And coach knows everything. So, what I see on this matter is that if he Messi, sometimes it's good to get to be a player. We stay in a club, we go like to move and go to another club, because the commandment of Messi is above any coach that will come to Barcelona now. So we are just saying this. We don't know the plan or their mind there. They can make the great man may be on the pitch. They will not give them the ball at the right time. Depend on the plan of other players. So, like, if I happen to be a football coach, I don't think any player, as a coach who as the manager of the team, I don't think any player is above to be on the bench, depending on my game plan. Great man is a player. He's not a god. Any other person can come on the bench and change the game, or start the game and change the game as well. Not to name, we are not talking about his name. We are talking about a particular player who can do magic on the pitch. So maybe that day he will not be in the right mood or something like that. So being on that field is just to answer name or something like that. I think the coach knows the base. To my own life.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Yes, like I said earlier, yes, Griezmann at Barcelona so far, and he has 8 goals so far in total. He has 32 appearances. I'll be saying no, they see gameplay. Yes, 32 appearances, and let's say since the project La Liga return, since they returned, he has started just once. Played one game, full 90 minutes. That game was against Leganes. They win that game 2-0. Now, so the game end in that game. Antoine Griezmann played the whole of that game. He played and finished of course, had a goal disallowed, scored a goal. It was disallowed, yes, using the VAR. Messi scored the penalty, and of course, they went on. And Sufati also played in that same game, scored a goal, and that was how they lined up for that game. It was Fati, Griezmann, and Messi. No Suarez in the game. And that was the first game back in the La Liga against they played that one against Leganes. It wasn't, and they actually won that one 2-0. Okay, not the first game back. The first game was against Mallorca. He played 56 minutes in that game, and of course 4-0 Barcelona win that game against Mallorca. But since then, the last two games for Barcelona has seen him play 11 minutes together. 11 minutes together. That's how far he played. In the last game against Atletico Madrid, let's say 2 minutes. To never reach 2 minutes. Now he played about 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. Against Celta Vigo, he played 10 minutes. The last two games were 2-2 draws. He ended in a draw. Same number of goals, scoreline 2-2. Do you think Griezmann should consider leaving? What do you think is the thing that is against Griezmann and Barcelona? What is working against Griezmann and Barcelona? Do you think it's the coach? Just like the former coach of Antoine Griezmann, don't talk now, say Kike Setien is not helping the situation at all. You see, you're supposed to help and support a player you bought for £108 million. They are not supporting Griezmann. Do you think it's the coach truly? Do you think it's a Messi factor? Yes. Or do you think it's just Griezmann himself? Yes. Should he consider leaving? Is there something wrong with Griezmann? Yes. Do you think there's something wrong with Griezmann this morning? Get on board. Let's hear you. I'll check out some of the comments we have on the social media platform. It's a fine Sunday morning. Yes. And we definitely feel you right there. Watch us live on the fans page. Yes. And let's take this call. Hello.
Yes. Good morning to you, Jody Baba.
Good morning.
Baba.
Good morning.
Yeah. You're a sport diva. Happy Sunday to you.
Same to you. Welcome.
Yes, and your radio friend, Ugo Sam.
Welcome, Ugo Sam.
Yes. We talk about Antoine Griezmann, have you?
Yes.
If you ask you in problems, you see, one of those things in life, like I feel with John Baba now, they work for Brilla, you know, and they start they shine for Brilla well. Then at times you can't begin hungry to go NTA or to go Ray Power. Whereas now for Brilla, here your start do, but for Igbo, if somebody play somebody day, and that place is hungry. You know, when Antoine Griezmann did for Atletico Madrid, in a real you understand me? I be the main cuckoo waiting for Atletico Madrid. Now, they come law and go Barcelona. Since then, I know the almighty Messi. Anybody when you know sanction, gonna do well there. If you check the record, you did plenty. But then let me leave Messi out of this. Because now coach, we don't know in work. Like allow players to defeat who will go play for match. Yes, Messi not taking anything from him. He's a French player. He goes on for that matter. But if I have my way as a coach, no player can dictate my match for me. Yes, because for our side here, we say up 3. You know the group of the person who planter. Shey they hear my voice, my sister.
How they hear you?
Actually, this man, you don't know how much I plan buy him. Okay, he said that 11 minutes he don't play for the last 2 games or get about. Do you know that the coach now, he prefer Ansu Fati to Antoine Griezmann? This a rising star where never rise well. But see Antoine Griezmann, world-class player. In fact, World Cup winner. You see, you know why I talk about this now? You see, when in life, that's not what other people that will take the next example for ourselves. Before you want to make a move, make sure say you check the terrain very well before you move. Or else you go regret that your action later. And your Griezmann, if you ask me, it's not late for him. Let him pack pack all in baggages, in charger, in phone, and everything. Then, just like the prodigal son for Bible, don't need they go to my son and say, Papa, I don't offend heaven and earth. And even you, because I don't really want you to call your son again. Even if you want to be one of those people who will bench, they can come back to Atletico Madrid, where I appreciate it. If you want it in life, better to stay where you are appreciated than go to where you are tolerated. This is the problem with anti-engagement. My sister, do.
All right, thank you so much. I don't know who will agree to that one. Go back to Atletico Madrid. Already, Antoine Griezmann done the hints of MLS. Say, MLS. But I say MLS, no bad though. But then, yes, what really do you think that Setien has failed in his part to use Griezmann in the way that he will walk the walk? Do you think he has failed in that? Yes, because the former coach of Antoine Griezmann said this na player why Sabio. They asked another former coach, Diego Simeone. He smiled. He said, that smile, there was a lot of message. I mean, if you grew up under African mothers, you will know what's that smile, that kind of smile. I don't see him before. It's a familiar smile of like, but then, Martin Lasage says, Barcelona, yes, he has a feeling that something broke in the dressing room of Barcelona and is working against Antoine Griezmann. That is why Griezmann has issues and the coach is not helping in any way. He said that game against Atletico Madrid is the game that Keke Setien finally he finished Griezmann. In fact, it's over for Griezmann. Yes, and do you think you should consider leaving? Just 1 year, £108 million. The result for Barcelona, 11 last 2 games, 2-2 against, of course, Atletico Madrid. Against Celta Vigo, 2-2. Griezmann played 11 minutes from the last 2 games. 11 minutes. Yes, sport fans, get on board. Let's hear from you. Yes, let's hear from you right here. I'll take some of the comments on Facebook. And Stephen John said, let him stay and fight. It is cogent enough for us to see that Messi doesn't like him. Maybe that's why Setien always put him on the bench, which is absolutely unfair. But then, is he really about liking him? Kike Setien has been changing formation up and down. Against Madrid, he played a 4-4-2. And the other game before the Madrid own, it was a 4-3-3. And we're here against Villarreal today. We might be seeing a Griezmann because Setien is looking to play the 4-3-3 formation, which will give room for Griezmann to actually play the game and, alongside Suarez and Messi. Hello? Hello, welcome. Not sure you're ready for me. Okay, Israel still on Facebook says, not all that glitters is gold. Remain where you are doing well, but what about growth now? What about dreams now? If you're saying remain where you are, what about dreams? I mean, you got dreams. If you remain where you are, achieve your dream. All right. Tammy James says Griezmann should consider leaving. He should pack his. I don't know. The last caller says back, Sharjah. You can see Sharjah where it goes to now. Okay. Let's see if I can take some more right here on the fans page before we move on. Yes, real quick. Sport Radio 88.9 Prela FM. Yes. And she tried to pick this one. Okay, thank you, Jasper Ifeanyi. Good morning, thank you. Happy Sunday to you as well. Agbonze Friday, yes, see you. And Emeka Noha right there on the fans page watching live. Ni Emmanuel says, I don't know what he wants at Barca in the first place. Well, who doesn't want Barcelona? Welcome.
Hello.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Omar. I think Griezmann should leave.
He should leave?
Yes.
He should leave to Vienna.
Any team of his choice.
Any team of his choice.
Yes, because I'm not seeing him performing at Barcelona.
So he's It's out of his hands. Nothing can be done.
I don't think anything can be done.
But is anything wrong with Griezmann?
No, I don't think Messi prefers him.
You don't think what?
He doesn't want him to play alongside him.
Oh, you think Messi doesn't want him to play?
Yes.
But they've played together before now.
Maybe the game has changed, sir. You know that Barcelona are struggling now.
Okay. All right, I hear you. Thank you very much. You advise him to leave, carry your bag, and disappear. That is what the fan said. Hello, welcome. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Welcome. All right, not ready for me. Let's see. Hello, good morning. Welcome. Yes, good morning.
Yeah, for Griezmann.
What's your name, sir?
Okay.
Okay.
For Griezmann, they say hard way can do it. I think for me, for my own advice, you have to fight for it. So that.
He has to fight for it.
Yes, because if you don't have failure, you can't have victory. Sometimes in your life, you have to have that, but if your dream comes true, so you are dreaming to play in the backer, now you are in the backer. The next step is how to be in the backer, to be the legend in the backer. So that's my intention.
But do you think it's a fight he will win? How do you advise he fight it? By sitting on the bench?
No, it's not like sitting on the bench. I think if another coach comes, or maybe the coach tries to use him, then for him, he has to work hard, even though he's training. Because we want to beat all those best 11, they have to work hard. So because that we are the great player.
Okay.
So that's the whole thing.
Oh yeah, nah. Thank you very much. Yes, work hard, be patient too. They say patient dog, 9 shop fat bone. That was quite some years back. I don't know if they still they see bone. No. Christopher says going to Barcelona is a mistake. Griezmann will regret forever. Messi is a demigod at Barcelona, and he made it clear he didn't want Griezmann, really. And as long as Messi is at Barcelona, Griezmann will never blossom. Oh, okay. So Griezmann, Messi, they do Griezmann. Okay. And Kevin Gia says Satiani said it all. When you have Suarez and Messi on the pitch, there's no room for Griezmann, so I'm not surprised he should make a move to Manchester United. Moreover, Barcelona dressing room ain't settled. Juro Dara Samson say yes, so I think he should leave for his career. Ezechukwu Ifeanyi says Griezmann should leave this summer to Arsenal, where he can get regular playing time. As long as Messi stay at Barcelona, he will be under Messi's shadow. Sunday on the BC says why Messi spend so much money only to bring him in. Okay, why Barca spend so much money only to bring him in to play just 2 minutes? Why? All right. Oyekachi says, how can you shine under Messi? All right, yes. Tobore says, did you guys see Simeone's face when Griezmann was introduced in the 90th minute? Frank says he made a great mistake joining Barca. But still Sunday says, no, let him stay there. But Shiru says Barcelona is too big for him. Barcelona is a small player. Because he's a small player since he cannot fight. Man says, I think the coach bring him late in game is not encouraging. Yes, now we they talk about, so make it stay up and make it wrong. Joseph said, I think he should come to Man United. Oluwatobi says, Griezmann problem come from 2 different areas. The coach and Messi is fighting 2 wars. Messi refused to play with him very well, while coach also play him in a wrong position with wrong motivation. All right, yes, it says this team 9 destroy Coutinho. Austin Akpom says he made a wrong decision of joining Messi at the club after disclosing they don't need him at the club. Barcelona wanted Antoine Griezmann earlier. The coach when bring Griezmann up, Real Sociedad coach when he worked with back then, Martin Lecete, say that Griezmann move when he make when Barcelona wanted him and he told them no, he would join them later. He didn't move the first time. He says that's the origin of Griezmann's problem, according to coach, the former manager of Griezmann. Yes, where he of course started football right there. He says it is the environment. If he had gone to Barca 1 year before, he said they fulfill him. But after he make Yanga use Barca to play, that is why the environment, they have not forgiven him. They signed him, but the players did not forgive him. I don't know if there's any truth to this. Reports in Spain say Messi has welcomed Ansu Fati, but he hasn't welcomed Griezmann. Should he consider leaving? Hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning, friend.
Good morning.
This is Arinze.
Welcome, Arinze.
Talking about Griezmann. The guy is very good player. Although the coach is psyche, that's why they play him. And I want him to move to another club, like Manchester United. Because Manchester United need a number something like Griezmann.
Okay, yeah. So move to Manchester United.
Yeah.
So make it quit.
Quit Barcelona.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes. Say make him run or make him the gomot, so make him pack a bag and move from there. The coach, Quique Setien, is under fire. Will you blame him for putting in Messi and Suarez? He says these two, when they are playing, are not get choice. I mean, they're playing well. They were drawing the game 2-2. He said these two players were playing well. How can I remove them and put Griezmann? You know, day like that. I have to make a decision. I am the coach. And I decided to put him in the 90th minute. And not to turn water to wine. I don't even know. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning. This is Kunle.
Kunle?
Yes. The first time caller.
Okay, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, on this Griezmann issue, the thing is, it's normal to experience such a thing in a club. Players should not just quickly think of leaving when there are issues like that. Sometimes you have to start to fight for your right and fight for your own time. This might be clear, no doubt. This time will come. Definitely, they might even have later said they might go, another coach might come and might see him as a very important part of this team. So it happens, but he just needs to keep proving himself. I'm not a fan of when you are facing this challenge at the club, then the next thing is to find a way out. Sometimes you need to stand and fight for your shirt. And I think if he keeps putting effort as he has been doing in Atletico, he'll still get his time. His time will come. So I think he should still stay.
Okay, so be patient and stay. All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, Sport Fan, we're still right here. The Sunday Sports Show. We get more of the hits coming in right there, trying to take them one after the other. This morning, as we go right here, and Quique Setien, really, the fans, everybody, they take their turn one by one, coming to bash the new man. And of course, at the end of the season, really, I don't know what it will hold for Quique. It might just be going. He has been experimenting a lot, and some of the experiments don't work, some don't backfire well, especially with some of the players and the unhappiness went different inside the dressing room. Anyway, yes, still looking at the contributions right there. Let me take this call before we move on. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Welcome.
My name is Adam Zazafi.
Okay. Happy Sunday. Oyana. Okay. All right, yes, maybe try to get back. Thank you for stopping by. Ikena Maxwell on Twitter says, I think Griezmann should stay and reap what he sow. How can someone live where he's king? Oh, God. Oh, and how did you know where you were going to? You will not be king there. If there was king there before, Uncle. All right, anyway, thank you for that. Yes, let's take this. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, morning.
My name is Ola.
Welcome, Ola.
Yeah, concerning the Griezmann issue.
Yeah.
I don't know how to this thing every time. Anytime they talk about Barcelona, almost everybody comments on Messi don't like player. There's no way you will leave a club to a new club. In school, in a state to a state. When you leave one state in Nigeria to another state, before you leave one or where you are living to another particular place, before you adapt, you go to take a little period of time. You understand? Going to Barcelona for Christmas, it's a good deal. But really, when you get to Barcelona, you lose form. And the coach doesn't anything. Because the coach supposed to be so that after Christmas picture in almost every La Liga Barcelona match. Every weekend, right? But instead of going to 15 more with Messi and other players like Suarez, you know that they do training together. Like the man was like, put a good man aside. Right? It's just like the same thing that happened to Coutinho. Where is that going to be? Anytime you're supposed to use Coutinho, it's not use Coutinho. You're supposed to use it on the left, you go and use it in another way. That's what I mean. Today, I think today, I think believe that Coutinho is a good player. So that is what happened to Griezmann. Griezmann is supposed to start that match. It's supposed to line up the information that we choose Griezmann. Like 4-3-3, that Griezmann has to play. Because in Griezmann former club, and he knows the weakening point of Atletico. You know, I think all of us know that Griezmann is a good player. But now, at least, almost all the work force of Griezmann as he is now is from the coach. It's from the coach.
Okay.
Exactly. It's from
All right,
the
so
coach.
the coach.
Like that. Yes. The force is from the coach. Even though if you have a fall now, it doesn't do well, or anybody has a fall, it doesn't do well. You should do that from time to time.
All right then. Thank you very much. Yes, the coach. And I don't answer question. I've heard coach. Some says Messi. Some says no be Messi. Leave Messi alone. What did Messi do? All right. I'll just take one or two comments and then we'll switch it. Yes, we'll talk about something new. We want to look at the women's game in Africa. Yes, and how the things now don't shake. The tables that has actually. Is the table that's shaking right here. All right, this one from Tobore says, okay, I have taken that one earlier on. Emmanuel says he should leave now while he's still young. Is he really young? Yes, making no go lose. All right, yes. Basil Sunday says no, let him stay back. He can still fight for a shirt. It will happen. He should just be patient. Okay. Man says, I think the coach bringing him late in the game is not encouraging. Okay, thank you for that one. And okay, try to pick out some of the new ones we have right there on the fans page. Ali John says, why did he even go to Barca in the first place? For me, going to Barca was waste of time. Bob Christopher says, is he still in Barcelona? He needs to check the schedule and move all the way to Juventus. Juve will suit him better. All right, yes. Michael says it is time for Messi. Should go and give this young man glad opportunity to play the free role they deserve. Not sure I picked that one correctly, but thank you so much for hitting us with that one. All right, smart fans, still right here on the Sunday Sports Show, looking at some of the things will happen from the week and the ones maybe say will happen in the future. For Manchester City, Pep Guardiola, they get assurance now, say CAS will deliver the verdict for the matter last, and everything will do all right in terms of the Champions League ban. He's confident that Manchester City, that Champions League ban, they go overturn, and even all their guys on top now, they reassure and say that they work on the matter to see that Manchester City do not get banned from the Champions League. We'll wait to hear on that one later this week. Of course, we'll hear news concerning Manchester City and the ban, upheld or not. We will know at the top 4, top 5 will it be last when it comes down to the decision of picking things. All right, yes, the women's game. Yeah, remember the 2020 African Women Cup of Nations. Nice supposed be. And any which way, due to the COVID-19, the effects of COVID-19, CAF postponing the AFCON. But then for the African Women Cup of Nations, it was actually cancelled completely, not postponed. And the players, not ex-players now, yes, the players, the Super Falcons players don't come out to talk about this decision from... Okay, yes, they talk about the decision cancelling the league right there, and if at all, cancelling the tournament. And many of them know they're excited with the decision of CAF, particularly Asisat Oshoala and Evelyn Nwamboku, who actually have used various means to express how they feel about the cancellation of the 2020 African Women Cup of Nations. And as it is right here, they were actually built to go on. We heard earlier it was postponed, but then finally the announcement came that it was cancelled. The men's edition, yes, it was supposed to take place for 2020, was cancelled. The 2020 African Women Cup of Nations cancelled. It was supposed to be the 12th edition, and but then due to COVID-19, it was cancelled for the year. This is not something where we see happen, and many of the, due to the challenging conditions according to CAF, the decision they make. The CAF Women's Champions League will start off from next year. Men's edition of the AFCON, yes, will be in 2022. It was supposed to be in 2021. And the 2020 African Nations Championship, that's CHAN, they don't postpone and go next year. Between November and December, now they're supposed to play the African Women Cup of Nations, but now that has been cancelled. Looking at it, for Asisat Oshoala, for Evelyn Nwamboku, they are both said similar things about the effect of this. So this will only just take Africa, women's football in Africa, take them back. I mean, look at the African teams in the World Cup. They stand, not a raise shoulders, small. And for Asisat Oshoala, she believes this will be negative effect now you only get for the development of women football for Africa. Yes, the qualifications for the 2020 AFCON already were in the first round. They were even yet to play. Most of the games was in the first round. Nigeria already got a bye into the second round, and they were scheduled to play some of those games before COVID-19 can strike right here. All of this now has been postponed, yes, or has been cancelled rather, due to the pandemic. Yes, Osmo fans, we're right here on the show, and I want you to let me know. Evelyn Nwamboku don't say in a tweet, yes, she was saying that CAF has to rethink their decision to cancel. So they should please rethink, reconsider. Instead of cancel, she said, may they postpone it, please. It will help. May they no cancel. This is not good for women's football. Do you think this cancellation of the 2020 African Women Cup of Nations will it take women's football back? Will it take the development where we say they've done their shift? Is it going to actually take them back? All right, so far that I'm waiting with the look up right here on the Sunday Sports Show. What do you make of this? Do you agree with Evelyn Nwamboku and Asisat Oshoala, who says it is taking 5 steps forward and 20 steps backwards for the development of football in Africa? Women's football right now. Now waiting with the talk about the Super Falcons. Yes, have been running since when you talk about on the continent for the Cup of Nations, winning it, but then it is a change for the last edition. Not as many expected it to go down, but then the one for the year cancelled. Sport fans, make we hear you. 0700000889 is still the frequency of Champ here on the home of the fans. A fine Sunday morning right here on the Sunday Sports Show. Alright, I'll take some of the hits we have on the social media platform. Yes, I still have some fans who are still jumping on the Griezmann and of course Messi and Barcelona's Gis. Olatuboso says the people calling anyway. It says basically the playing style of Griezmann, he needs to get used to Barca's pattern of playing. He plays like to return passes is very difficult for him. He plays like Kesco. Okay, basically, so the people calling did not analyze the playing pattern of Griezmann. General Bamidele says Griezmann is a top player, and top players always find a way to work together. Griezmann should play with Messi and Suarez. Messi isn't the problem. It's up to the coach to look for a suitable formation that will accommodate Messi, Suarez, and Griezmann. All right, thank you. Quite a long one. Matthias Odira says, good morning. No, let him stay because very soon Messi will retire and he will be the one to carry Barcelona along. Simon Obadiah says, for me, I think he should stay because being in Barca has always been his dream. The Lights, yes, says he should leave now. No chance for him. They are they are not happy with him. Okay, all right, thank you for that one as well. But then we're looking at the cancelled African Women Cup of Nations. You know, they don't cancel like this now, and it will not happen. The African Cup of Nations was postponed. Was supposed to be next year, but postponed to 2022. And Evelyn Waboku says, if at all, please make CAF reconsider postponing, not cancelling the African Women Cup of Nations. Sister Toshola said this is a wrong step. This still that they play, so it will affect the development of women football in Africa, not just Nigeria. Africa in general right here. Yes, this now waiting. The players don't talk. Looking at the national team, the women national team. All right, sport fans, let us hear from you, sport fans, right here on the show. What do you make of this one? Do you think it will really set women's football back, or do you think otherwise? Do you also think CAF should reconsider the decision of cancelling? Do you think they should rather postpone instead of cancelling the African Women Cup of Nations? That's one CFC day for us to take a look at right here on the Sunday Sports Show. But first off, let's send you some team news. And when we get back, of course, I'll take some of your contributions on top this one. Will they come?
There can only be one. Sports Radio, 88.9, Brilla FM.
When the fans asked for more, we at Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla FM gave them 4 wishes and a magical line. It simply means when you call 0700000889, you're routed through 4 different lines. So when you dial the magical number 0700000889, you get through to us on 4 lines. That means you have 4-in-1 chance of having your voice heard on your favorite radio station. So go ahead and start dialing. It's the 4-in-1 package from the home of the fans.
Brilla FM, what others wish they were. Brilla FM, a complete deal.
Here are your latest Liverpool headlines. I'm Aidan Perkins. We'll start with team news for the clash against Aston Villa at Anfield, as Liverpool hope to bounce back from the 4-0 defeat at Manchester City on Thursday, their first game since being crowned Premier League champions. The defeat at City was unwelcome, but Liverpool, of course, still basking in the glory overall of winning the title. I hope for a home win then against relegation-threatened Villa. Boss Jurgen Klopp has said that he will resist making wholesale changes and giving some fringe and young players the chance, although there are certain players pushing for starts, the likes of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, James Milner and Takumi Minamino. However, Joel Matip is the only player who's confirmed as an injury absentee. Dejan Lovren has got a knock and will be given a late fitness test. Xherdan Shaqiri has returned to training this week and may feature in the squad. Meanwhile, Oxlade-Chamberlain has said that the intensity levels under Klopp are so high that anything but the best will not be tolerated. Speaking to the BBC, Oxlade-Chamberlain said there's no days off at all, there's no tolerance for levels to drop. If they do from time to time as a team, we're reminded that that's not good enough and that's not where we need to be to progress further. In terms of how Liverpool will now approach the rest of the season, having already been crowned champions, Oxlade-Chamberlain said it's a test of right now, we need to go again and we need to go to the next stage. How far can we push this, he said. Finally, the games against Arsenal and Chelsea have been finalised for the end of the season. Liverpool will go to the Emirates to take on Arsenal on Wednesday, July the 15th. the match kicked off at 8:15, as does the final home game of the season at home to Chelsea on Wednesday, July the 22nd, and also an 8:15 p.m. kickoff. That's all for now. We'll have more later.
Brewer FM, a complete deal. Take Brewer anywhere, everywhere.
Yes, you can take Brewer with you anywhere, everywhere.
The Brewer app is available for free download on Google Play. It is also there on the Apple iTunes Store. Yes, on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store.
Look out for the Brewer football and microphone logo with the letters BRILA in green colour.
That is our authentic app. It gives you Brewer FM, Brewer.net, BrewerSports.tv, and all the extra betting tips, live score, plus our Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google Plus, and YouTube posts.
Sports fun. You can post your videos and eyewitness reports.
Brewer, BRILA. Available for download on Google Play and the Apple iTunes Store. Take Brewer anywhere, everywhere on your handset.
Here we go. The best.
Tear down this wall.
All weekend. On
Wheeler FM. Sports Radio 88.9. Wheeler FM.
power. Love it.
Fans, welcome. Still the Sunday Sports Show right here, Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla FM. Still Joe Nigbava. Yes, you can call me the Sports Diva. And of course, we're on the last leg, the final leg. Yes, last lap of the show right here this morning, and we're taking a look at the women's game, women's football in Africa. The Super Falcons players have spoken after they hear the gist now. Say, moving forward, yes, at least the 12th edition are cancelled. Hopefully, subsequently, we'll hear. CAF says the CAF Women's Champions League will start. Of course, before now, not only the men, they get Champions League Confederation Cup, but for the very first time, the Women's Champions League will start off next year. And that's good news for Nigerian Women League. Of course, hoping to see some of the representatives get themselves there. But then, Evelyn Wambuaku, yes, look at the matter. She say, despite say that they can't this one join now, it's good news, oh. Good news, something very good. But at the same time, she feels, yes, talking about the superstar with the Super Falcons, that the cancellation will take women's football backward. In her words, exactly, she says, in as much as we are happy about the introduction of the Women's CAF Champions League, it is sad the Women's African Women Cup of Nations was cancelled when it can be postponed. Like every other tournament, apart from, it was basically the African Women's Cup of Nations that was cancelled outright. She says they can postpone it now, just like they do AFCON. They can postpone like they do Shan. What's going on here? And she says CAF should have a rethink that this is taking the women's game backward. Meanwhile, Sister Toshola says this is more like taking 5 steps forward and 20, or in fact 10 steps backward. Going to the World Cup with the team, going through the round of 16. She said, she cannot forget it. Of course, in 2019, the women were there at the World Cup. France 2019, I remember it so clearly. 2023, there will be another World Cup. But 2020, there ought to be an AFCON, and now that AFCON has been cancelled. The AFCON for women, they didn't make it. Nigeria qualified ahead with Cameroon and South Africa for the World Cup. 3 African nations who got there. Nigeria, they try. Amasisa Doshola also referenced that, getting through the group stage into the knockout stage. Of course, they had to go through ranking of third place teams to get into the knockout stage. But finally, they lost that game against Germany, shocked 3-0, and they crashed out. And she's looking at the World Cup, not even looking at the African Women Cup of Nations. She's looking at the effect this will have on the World Cup. Nigeria, the most successful team when you talk about the African Women Cup of Nations, 11 titles. Though the last time, not be small sweat to sweat well to Colombia the 2018 edition. But then in 2022, hopefully there'll be another. But she says it is, in fact, a backward movement, not a forward one. Evelyn say, may they consider. Do you think they should reconsider? Should it be postponed? Should they think about it again? Of course, don't forget, say due to the COVID-19, a lot of resources, money might be the main thing now. Businesses are not doing well. Sponsorship deals for some of these tournaments who really have hosts, for example, some of them really have been withdrawing. We saw for the World Cup how teams that were actually bidding, the way they say use better reverse to the wrong commodity. Do you think they should truly consider, or just let it go for now? Will it really take the development of African women's football back 10 steps or 20 steps? Will it be moving backward rather than forward? All right, sport fans, I have some of the heat right here on the Facebook fans page. I'll take them. I'll also take a look at our last talking point right here on the show. Perceive Oladimeji says, sorry, is the African women's food okay? This basically is asking, is the African women's football moving forward? Let the decision stand. All right, so basically for Perceive, he says the African women's football was not moving forward before. How do you say? How do you mean? Yes, and I don't know if I agree with you in that one. But then I'd love for you to explain it better. I mean, look at how they fared in the World Cup. Maybe next time would have been better, but then don't they need some of these tournaments to train? Chimsom Eziego says CAF should rethink. How would they just cancel an event? This only shows the absence of gender equality, according to Raphael Chimsom Eziego. Eddie Wosu says canceling the Women's Championship is really hard to accept, but on the contrary, since other continents are doing same, it is a welcome development till the pandemic is over. That is his contribution for this one. Okay, thank you very much for that one. He says it should be cancelled. That one, no big deal for there. 0700000889. Yes, let us hear from you what you make of this right here on the show. Well, as you know, a lot of things happening right there with the continental. If not continental matter, they talk about. Well, of course, we've had some postponements. Yes, we look at the women's game. Some of these tournaments have been postponed. For example, the UEFA Women's Euro 2021 it was supposed to hold from July. Yes, but has been postponed to 2022. Was supposed to hold in 2021. Yes, but has been postponed till 2022 to run from July 6th July to 31st July 2022. Should CAF reconsider? Find a way out. Find a way to organize the African Women Cup of Nations. Hello, welcome. Hello, good morning, welcome. All right, yes, thank you. Maybe try to get back. Maybe like I say, your line is no clearish. All right, Eddie Wosu says cancelling the Women's Championship is hard. Okay, I think I've taken this one. All right, thank you for that one. So let's see if we can take some other contributions right here real quick. We have this one on Griezmann as well. Okay, so the fans still jumping in. Timothy, yes, George says, I don't think cancelling the women's game is the right decision to take. Why don't postpone it? Postpone it and see what will happen in the next 1 year. Okay. Andre says, trying to pick that one now. Okay. Andre says, I think the cancellation is just correct. CAF should not reconsider. The COVID-19 has taken a lot from sports generally. So they should wait for the 2022 edition. Okay. Hello. Hello, welcome. Hello, I can hear you. What's your name?
My name is Chukwudi.
Chukwudi.
Yes.
Okay, Chukwudi, go ahead. All right, not ready to make his contribution. Maybe when you do, Chukwudi, find your way back right here. Or you can tweet at BreelFM889 as we take some more right now. Still on the social media platform trying to pick out this one. I have this from Deborah. Yes, I think she says, I agree with the decision to cancel the continental game for the women. It's quite sad, but if at all, next time will be better. Okay. Hello. All right, small fan. Yes, remember you can also tweet at BreelFM889. Also, we're live on the Facebook fans page, Sport Radio 88.9. Breela FM. Yes, do that and you will get through to us. Watch us live and also leave us your contribution. All right, yes, God's will. Sam says it is a good decision from CAF to cancel the African Women Cup of Nations and focus on the African Cup of Nations. Good one. All right, and finally, I think I'll take this so we can move on. We have this as well coming in from Jerry Peters, and he says the decision is not a great one. They should consider postponing it. I mean, these ladies need to be in action. It's important they play. Do not forget that most of these teams, they don't play practice games, they don't play friendly games. It is only this Women's Cup of Nations that brings some of these countries' national team together. It will be a sad case if they postpone, if they cancel, okay? If they cancel, they should rather postpone it rather than cancel it. But then do not forget that there is an edition for 2022. For those saying postpone, if they postpone to next year's 2021, will they host in 2021 and host another in 2022? Yes, do you think that is how it should be done? This is July already. Yes, 2021 means the qualifiers has to start next year. If you say they should postpone from January, by then, who knows really what the situation of things will be. While the 2021 has the CHAN tournament, also looking at the CAF Women's Champions League, can they also squeeze in and host the African Women Cup of Nations? Really, when you take a look at it, consider that. All right, sport fans, yes, we are taking a look at our talking points right here. And do not forget that we also have one game scheduled to go down real soon for Inside the Premier League. Yes, the first kickoff of action later on, Burnley against Sheffield. That's one night, be the first game where we say we'll go right here, and I'll serve you some team news in that one. Yes, a few minutes from now, it will be kickoff in the game between Burnley and Sheffield United. Okay, yes. But then I want us to take a look at Ronaldo and Messi. Yes, no comparisons really. But then Ronaldo made it 729 goals yesterday. Messi made it 700 on Tuesday last week, both last week of course, and 729 for Ronaldo. He's 35. Messi is 33 years old and he has 700. Do you think Messi can equal or overtake Ronaldo's goal tally when you take a look at the guys? Only 7 of them, 7, Ronaldo and Messi included, have scored over 700 goals. Yes, sir. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. I want to contribute for this Castle the Women Nations Cup Africa.
Okay.
Why CAF do that kind of thing? Why CAF do that kind of thing to Castle Women Nations Cup? It's not fair. It's not fair. At least all those European countries, they don't castle their own. We Africa castle our own. Then when there is international game, not remote game, then go backward. Africa don't get it. Thank you.
So what is the way out? How do you think it should be done? I just told you of the timeline, how it is. There is supposed to be another. I don't know if you can.
They will just allow to. That is after COVID-19. Let them know how they go arrange this Africa Cup of Women Nation. Tell them to say they will to 2022. It's not fair.
No, it's not postponing to 2022. What I'm saying is, remember that the African Women Cup of Nations is every 2 years.
Okay.
So, cancelling it, if you're saying they should postpone it, this is 2020. Next year is 2021.
Yeah.
And there's another edition for 2022.
I think they should cancel the Africa Women Nations Cup. It's not fair. But what time the Madrid will play today?
All right, I'll give you the time for that one. Yes, no, while I just continue to listen, we'll let you know about that. So 2 years now, every 2 years that they run the show, there will be 2022 African Cup of Nations, though yet to be decided, of course, where it will be. Details about that no day. But the one for the year 2020, which is supposed to take place for November. I mean, this is July already. The qualifiers had not been played, and they had to cancel. But if Liwaboko is saying reconsider, like, yes, I asked, do you think there's a way they can arrange it? Can that happen? Really? I'll play another one. The World Cup is 2023, do not forget. So even if you say, may they push the 2022 and push the 2020 to another, how does it work? Do you think they can still find a way to play the 2020? Oh, should you leave it as it is, cancel and focus on the 2022 edition? And do you think really, but will this affect 2 years of not seeing continental action? Will it affect the women's game in Africa? Not the world now, but in Africa. All right, sport fans, anyway, I asked about Messi and Ronaldo. And if you see Messi is 33 years. Some people say he's got time. At least he has time. 2 years, no be beans. But then you want to look at fitness. Oro doesn't even look at 33. Ronaldo still looks like he's a 30, what's 30, 20 something. And he continues to bang in the goals. Currently, is way ahead of Messi. 29 goals is a lot of goals. And for Messi right now, he finally made it 700. But then, do you think Messi can actually, equal and maybe even overtake Ronaldo in the goal tally when you look at career goals now? Career goals. Yes, sport fans that are waiting, will they take a look at right here on the Sunday Sports Show? All right, yes, so we take some calls on this one. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good morning, June.
Yes, morning.
Yes, happy Sunday.
Same to you.
Yes, I'm Mary.
Mary, how are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
You sound
Yes, I'm talk about Ronaldo and Messi.
okay.
Yes, Ronaldo is 35.
Yes.
I'm looking at Ronaldo, it's just like if he's 25 years.
Yeah.
These are his few kids. Even if he's running in the field and he's injury free. So looking at them, Ronaldo, as Messi is scoring, Ronaldo will still continue to score. Ronaldo at 35 is like 25. I watch all his matches.
Okay.
So I wish him all the best. Ronaldo all the way.
So you don't think Messi go fit surpass Ronaldo?
No. Because Ronaldo will continue to be scoring. Messi will be scoring. Ronaldo will be scoring. So and he's injury free.
Okay.
Yeah, Ronaldo is going to play till he will be 40 if he's injury free. Thank you.
He's going to play until he's 40. Hey, all right, yes, and the goals will keep banging, and even the Messi too. If you look at it, if Ronaldo can play until 40, who says Messi can't? Really? Who says Messi can't do that as well? These guys look like they still are ready to play on top. Yes, stay in the game, and ride all the way to the ending, to the top. Anyway, when you take a look at it, 729. Then you want to take a look at Messi's rate of goal scoring. You want to take a look at Ronaldo, especially in this season, how many goals they've turned in right here with their different teams, how many they've had so far in the season. A certain Messi, yes, has been able to gather 22 goals in 28 games if you're looking at the La Liga alone. Yes, and then Ronaldo has had 25 in 33 games. So that is something to take a look at, or rather in 30 games. Okay, hello, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning. Olumide calling.
Okay,
Happy Sunday to you.
All right.
Talking about Ronaldo and Messi, anything is possible. Although these two guys are actually on fire. They're on fire. They can do anything that somebody else cannot do. So we can't get out. Anything is possible. But in terms of the cancellation of the Women's Nations Cup, CAF ordinarily could have postponed it. It could have postponed it because they did it before. I remember sometimes around 2013 when they wanted to change the format of the Nations Cup, as in the League Nations Cup, AFCON, to the odd year to avoid the clash with the World Cup year. There was a competition in 2012, and 2013 again there was another competition which Nigeria eventually won. So they know if they are actually serious about, they know what to do. I remember then they had to convert the qualifying round to home and away game. That was what they can do. It is because the Female Nations Cup to them is they're not attract much publicity and advert, and so that's the way I see it. Thank you.
All right, yes. So basically, just cutting their loss. That's what you're putting it down to. Anyway, I've heard some of the fans say no, Messi, no, Ronaldo definitely will keep scoring. But then let's go to Facebook and see what the fans are saying on top of Facebook real quick. This one from Babajide series says... Okay, Ronaldo. Okay, not sure I can pick that one. Exceptional John says, let's consider some factors based on fact and not sentiment. Let's first of all consider the matches played. Ronaldo has played over 1,000 games to reach that, while Messi has played about 150 less. Yes, it's out there, of course. So based on the numbers, Messi has an advantage. So basically, which is going to happen? Will he score? Will he equal? Will he overtake Ronaldo's 700? And for now it's 729. Of course, these guys will keep scoring. Do you think at one point in time Messi will have more goals than Ronaldo? All right, Clinton Daniel says okay, the equation of games played with sincerity, unbiased opinion, and oh my, I can say yes, he will do it. So that's what he wanted to say. Clinton, I don't speak English. Adeshola Adeyemi says Ronaldo is my favorite out of the two. Sentiments apart, both of them were an exceptional player. You mean okay, we would hardly see a genius like them. Aya says average goal per match is 0.7, Messi 0.8. Impressive records for these two. Well, you want to take a look at, if you want to go by the average goal, you want to take a look at the ratio before and now. The numbers are dropping for these guys. So Joshua Ijaga says the possibility is as easy as reading, and for me, I think Messi would definitely outscore Ronaldo. Everyone says I can't say if Messi will overtake Ronaldo, but I'm sure he will equal Ronaldo's goal tally. Anywhere Ronaldo stop, Messi go meet him. Olayika Gabriel says I think the answer is yes. If Messi played the same number of games as Ronaldo, I'm sure his goal tally will surpass that. Olayika says playing in La Liga is like playing in Holland, where 3 goals or 2 goals score is equivalent to 1. All right, Ronaldo, Messi, and La Liga. Okay, so Messi will definitely overtake. Emmanuel says, are you sure if you give Messi 144 games, he won't score at least 30 goals? He will definitely overtake Ronaldo. As Isaac Emmanuel says, without any doubt, it will be until Ronaldo stop playing football before Messi will equal his goal tally. Ronaldo would have to stop for Messi to equal his goal tally. Alfred Godwin says, if you like, put this one up for debate. Ronaldo is the best. Messi will never catch up with him. Ishaka Adam says Messi will topple Ronaldo in just a few months. Overall stats show that Messi has better goal per game. All right, I'll take this last call, my final call. Hello, welcome. Hello, my brother, move away from your radio. All right, not ready for me. 0700000889, and the Sunday Sports Show be this, and we done the roundup. Small, but you can still jump on it right here. Let's hear you. Do you think that at some point, do you see Messi? Can Messi overtake Ronaldo on the standings of career goals right here? do you think Ronaldo can? Will he be able to do that? Or rather, Messi can. Currently, Ronaldo is ahead with more games though. The players that have scored more: Joseph Bichan 805, Romero with 772, Pelé 767, Puskas with 746, Gerard Muller 775, 735, Cristiano Ronaldo 729, and Messi with 700. So Ronaldo is pursuing Gerard Muller, yes, and might even get there. Who knows? But will Messi eventually? Messi is the 7th on the list. Yes, will he eventually overtake Ronaldo somehow? Ronaldo is 6th, Messi is 7th. Players that have scored 700 career goals. All right, yes, still on Facebook. Let me take some more real quick. Owola B says time go tell, but no forget one thing. Yes, of course, we already have looked at that, the age factor. Cruz says, why not look at this way? Ronaldo equal Messi assist record. And Olayame says CR7 have more game appearance than Messi. So if Messi should have the amount of appearances on the field, then fine. Of course, Ronaldo has 105 games played. Messi has 861 games played. 320 assists, 700 goals. Ronaldo has 729 goals, over 262 assists as well. Hello, welcome. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Oyana, talk to me. What's your name?
My name is Sonny Martins. I'm calling from
Sonny Martins. Your location not wanted, not needed. Go on, Martins.
This Ronaldo and Messi of the team.
Martins, what's your contribution?
You see Ronaldo and Messi.
Yes.
My contribution is about Ronaldo and Messi.
Go on.
Ronaldo and Messi. The age is different here. It's a factor.
Okay.
Messi has played about 800 and something games.
Yes.
While Ronaldo has played over almost
1,005 games. Okay.
Games. Okay. And he has about
729. Do you think the question is, can Messi at one point score more than Ronaldo?
Yes. Messi is going to surpass Ronaldo. Messi is going to surpass Ronaldo because he still has 2 years to equal the Ronaldo's age of play, which is 35. Somebody
you make it sound like you say he has 2 years to equal Ronaldo's age. Ronaldo will, as he's getting older, Ronaldo is getting older as well. And they're still, don't forget, Ronaldo is still playing. Ronaldo has not said he's retiring at the end of the season. He will still continue to score goals.
Yes, you see, Ronaldo started playing football before Messi, and that was why he got that numbers of goals ahead of him. If two of them had started at the same time, would have said, okay, no, this guy is appreciate him. The message is appreciate why Ronaldo is also, increasing. But in this case, Ronaldo started playing football, started scoring goals.
Okay, so basically, Messi will catch up with Ronaldo.
Yes, Messi will catch up with Ronaldo. If there's something he to surpass Ronaldo.
Will surpass him. All right then. Thank you very much. Yes. All right, small fan. It was 728 5 days, or make it 6 days ago, but it's not 729. Of course, Barcelona will play today. We'll see how many Messi will put behind inside the net, and know how many it will need to still they score the come. But the challenge is Ronaldo will keep playing until when? We don't know. But remember, it's not competition. It's not because when Ronaldo because Ronaldo is 35, that means Messi will play until he's 38, or you never know. Sometimes retirement, injury, they can just decide to hang boot anytime. Anyway, smart fans, now the matter be on top this Sunday morning, the Sunday Sports Show. Big thanks, yes, for all the love. Remember, Football Live is next up to take you through all all the action right here. We got you covered on Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla FM, and the first game about to go down right there between Burnley and Sheffield. Yes, Sheffield United, the first game to kick off right there for inside the Premier League. I'll definitely got you covered on that one, taking you through the action. How you go turn out for Burnley, or can Sheffield return and continue to win right there after beating Tottenham and Jose Mourinho? Both of these teams are coming from a win-win. All right, sport fans, my name is Johnny Baba. You can call me the Sports Diva. I wish you the very best week ahead. I keep it right here on Sports Radio 88.9 Brilla FM. We're done.
Here we go. The best.
Tear down this wall.
All weekend. On
Wheeler FM.